Boards, board games, it's what I'm talking about. Board games, I'm not gonna shout. I am starting off this streaming with a little bit of singing. And today it is Friday. Maybe I could then say yay. It is a day when I don't know exactly how this stream will go. Today it might be quite a short one. But in any case, I hope we'll have fun. Board games, it's what I'm talking about. Board games, I'm not gonna shout. Hello, and hello, Sates, hello, CD, it's lovely to see you. And yeah, if you want to jump in, as always, because it is Friendly Friday Forum, I'm just going to paste the link here. Whether you're CD, and when I say, it strikes me sometimes, I'm really sorry to say this, your name kind of sounds like CD. Do you know what I mean? Seedy. I'll have to be very careful when I say it. But whether you are, and so why did I'm CD. Anyway, where wished. Okay, what? Oh my God, this has gone off the rails already. Okay, whether you are CD on halls, as this person is, or whether you are someone else that I have some awareness of, you don't need to be someone that I know in real life or anything. Just oh my gosh, basically anyone can jump in. So today is episode 287, Busy Beats and Board Game Bladder. That is what it's all about. Today is Friendly Friday Forum and possible game jamming if people wanted to jump in for that. Probably not, let's be honest. And just anyone who wants to jump in can join in. And so, yeah, that is that. So let's start off with recent highlights, living life and seeing the sights. Recent highlights, playing games and other delights. Recent highlights. So what have been some of your recent highlights? Have you played any good games? Have you eaten any tasty food? I have played a couple more games of My City by Cosmos, Reiner Knizia. I got into the point where I'm going to share it on Instagram, but I feel like I need to do the thing where I have one picture that says spoilers ahead, and then I can show the pictures of bleep and bleep and bleep. All the things that you might know if you've already played the game, but you might not know because maybe people don't want to see the bleep and the bleep. Do you know what I mean? Anyway, so I'm not going to talk more about that right now. What else happened yesterday? Oh yeah, I was with Dina and James yesterday morning. We ended up making a thing all about tidying up canoes and houseboats. The theme wasn't really there, but just bits of voting for polyomino. So everyone would draw their own polyomino and then you'd vote for which one went in. That was a really cool thing that I feel hadn't been done before. And it was, everyone who was there contributed, I feel like the three of us and Alex in chat, was amazing. But yeah, that was definitely a wee highlight of yesterday. And oh yeah, I saw an email where someone was inviting me to something that's coming out. Oh yeah, and I arranged a new person to come over on the 22nd, which I'm quite excited about, having someone from Board Game Arena. And talking about My City, Sates really loves it when you finally get to bleep, and especially bleep bleep. Yeah, bleep bleep is where it's at. Have you ever put a red streak in your hair? Asks CD. Yes, I absolutely have. I had one time when I had half my hair half my hair was red, half of it was black. I had a time when I just had the entire thing red. But yeah, CD has just gotten into bed, so now fear of missing out. Oh, didn't. But you've felt very helpful facilitating a workshop today. That sounds awesome. And I'm just going to get up for a moment and do my stretching. So let me stretch from side to side. I did a wee bit of walking today. That was good. I felt a wee bit of accomplishment. And so, yeah, not much to talk about. If anyone else has any recent highlights to talk about, then feel free to let us know. But otherwise, let's talk about the brilliant thing. Brilliant thing. What's a little thing which is brilliant? And you know what? I'm going to stick with drawing. Yeah. I think that particularly drawing things, low expectations. You know, this is going to be my brilliant thing for today. Low expectations. When you draw something and it's like, you know, it doesn't matter because I'm not going to be sending this to anyone. It's not going to go into a game. It's not something that I'm going to sell. It's low expectations. This is a thing. And if people, maybe I'll show it off. Maybe some people like it, in which case brilliant. And maybe other people don't like it. But that doesn't matter. And I think that having low expectations, freeing yourself up to do things, casting away those ideas of goodness, let alone perfection, that is a really brilliant thing. So yeah, I know that might sound strange, but yeah. Cats. CD's Cats is brilliant. So nice to come home and be missed and loved. That is true. And also the nice thing about cats as opposed to dogs is you don't need to say, yes, I am definitely going to walk this cat 3 times a day, like you kind of have to do with most dogs. Oh, that is lovely. And by the way, if you joined the Discord, where's my Discord? So if you joined the Discord on that link, stuffbybez.com/Discord, I should have actually just done the thing via Twitch, but you can always draw a cat and set it and share cat pictures. I really wanted to make it a thing where people just share pictures, whether it's photos or drawings of a cat. Good morning, Alex, and good morning, Nicholas. It is lovely to see you. Just oh, okay. Not taking a break from actually researching houseboats. Wow, this is amazing. So this game is carrying on as we're talking with Dina and James in the thick of it. And yeah, I guess let me get rid of that and say, yeah, how's everyone else been doing? And so this brings me to my questionably quick questions. I am in the UK, Glasgow, middle of Scotland, largest city in Scotland. It is 10:09 a.m. Where are you? What time is it? I know we've got people from New Zealand, from Leipzig, from Finland. No, sorry, I'm terrible with names of places. From Italy. Like, it's very international actually this morning. But yeah, my one question for everyone else is generally, how is the game jam going? Is there anything that you need help with? Anything that could help facilitate? Something that you need some more people to put some eyes on, that you want, hey, please read through this and have a look at whatever. Yeah, let me know. Dina drew some houseboats. a Pantone and Barone would be great for the game. Wow, this is already more technical than I thought. Thank you. Finland, 30 centimeters closer to the desk than yesterday. It's 11 p.m. in New Zealand. And highlight, the current iteration for the I Spy playsheet is on the Discord. Awesome. Put some ice on. Is that a request for me to look through it right now? I mean, I will happily do that. If you have any questionably quick questions, or whether it's questions about board games or just totally silly, frivolous things, you can ask. Feel free to do so. And yeah, honestly, for the entire thing, feel free to comment, ask questions, thumb, like, follow for the entire thing. So, and wait a minute, Nicholas. I heard you talking about Germany so often, but I thought that you'd just visited Germany a lot. I didn't realize you actually lived there. Wow. It was a pun about putting ice on. Putting eyes on? My eyes are on you. Okay. Let me actually, check out, oh wow, Dina's been drawing wee things. That looks amazing. That's some interesting grids you've got there. Maybe each person's doing two things, and there's so many games. It's so exciting. We've got Chocolate Battleship, which is Alan Paul's first idea. The possibly pie-related game from Nicholas and Alex. I Spy with My Little Eye. I need to have a proper read through of that. I guess I could read it just now because I'm going to have to learn the game tomorrow. Gumbricious with Mandela that we had a play of. Nautical Pie Delivery from Rory and Rob. I'm excited to play that. Cratosaurus, which we've already played on Sunday. Looking forward to seeing what comes up tomorrow. And remember, everyone, the game jam is officially finishing tomorrow. So I'm not going to be super strict with it, but try and get game rules and stuff finished. Strange animal noises from me, that's basically done. I've been thinking, should it just be you get 1 point for guessing correctly, and that is literally it? I mean, do you need you get 1 point for guessing with the majority? I mean, so on Tuesday we made a change with this game where it used to be just 1 point for guessing with the majority. So you want to guess what everyone else will guess, and 1 point for guessing, for getting the majority to guess for your thing. And then it seemed wrong for people to not get a point for guessing correctly. So I tweaked that, and it's like, yeah, why not make it points for everyone, basically? And just going to see the questions. I'm going to get to them in just a minute. Just working for all the games. And Treasure Hunt from Sarah. That sounds really cool. Some sort of traditional card game with traditional cards. Adam's working on something called Upper Crust. Show and Write from Javier, where you've just got your hands doing different things. Dinosaurs Love Spicy Pies. That's thing that's his and Rita made with me. Anywhere at All. I'm excited about that. Matthew and Alan, I worked on that together. Pious Bidder. That's basically Alan's auction idea. Silent Submarine, another game from Javi, and Diana's joining in. Houseboat Moguls from yesterday. And if you want to jump in and do another thing, I'm just going to add one more channel. So we've got, I just feel like 3 is a good number to have. If you want to jump in and make a game last minute, there's still plenty of time. There's like 24 hours, which is plenty of time to make a, first iteration of a game. So That is me looking back at the game jam. And let me... What's my favourite ever pet? Or if no pets, then cartoon movie animal. I only ever had one pet, which was a goldfish. That goldfish was called Goldie, and I was very small. I apparently didn't feed it enough, and I didn't change the water ever, and then it died, and suggests I'm not responsible enough for pets. But I have enjoyed taking care of other people's pets occasionally, just for a limited period of time. I have good memories of house sitting for, the people who live over there. You can't see the direction that I'm pointing at, but in number n+1, where n is the house where they're basically our next door neighbors. I also have house sat for the people in, anyway, for the next door neighbors where I live in London. When someone goes away and saying, okay, I'm going to pop in and house sit and then potentially say hello to these people, it's quite nice because then you've got some limited time, and I guess it's kind of like memento mori that you don't develop the full bond or anything, but yeah, I like that. If you live near me and you want me to house sit and take care of your cats or plants, even that, and I will do that, and I'll probably do a better job than if I had to do it for myself for a year. But yeah. And that question is for everyone. Nicholas, just to clarify, has lived in Germany for a couple of years now. Okay. So there we go. And am I going to make it the creature deck? As in, is that going to be the name of it? Someone suggested on Wednesday, I think it was Jess or Heather, who mentioned, hey, you should... I said, oh, this is a deck of wee whimsical creatures. And then they said, oh, you should just do the... you should just call the deck wee whimsical creatures. Just call it that. And then you get a deck and it's lots of wee whimsical creatures, and that's it. It feels like if I can do it in a way that doesn't take away any energy, then I'll do it. And if people are wanting it, but everyone gets a point every round as long as you're having fun, says Alex. Yeah, I mean, I like the... Yeah, it does definitely give it a different feel. It's just like everyone's always progressing, and actually, that if it's a point for the majority and a point for possibly the noisemaker getting everyone else to guess, plus a point for everyone who guesses correctly. I mean, with the majority, unless, it's like 2 for this and 1 for every other option, at least 20% plus 1. At least 20% of the people who aren't the noisemaker, so 20% plus the noisemaker would then also be getting one. So if it's an 11-player game, at least 3 people are always going to get a point, absolute minimum. No, because then I'm trying to work out what would be the absolute minimum number of points that you'd get. Trying to do maths on stream, not the most exciting thing, but if we had... Okay, so the minimum number of points, everything's balanced, but if everything's balanced, we just say everyone gets a point. Now, if it's a case of a slight... So we've got maybe 2 people for everything, or 1 person for 4 of them, 2 people for the 5th one, and so maybe 4... That could be 6 players. In a 7-player game, you could come up with a situation where... And if none of those people voted, if it was... So 5 people are playing, guessing, 2 people vote for something wrong, 3 people vote for something else. These 2 people get to vote for being the majority. No one gets a point for being correct, and then the noisemaker gets no points. So you could end up with a situation where 2 out of 6. So I think that's the absolute minimum number of people who get a point. So at least 2 out of 6 people are getting a point every turn, which seems quite nice. It might well be literally everyone gets a point. Maybe there's something joyous about that. Just, yeah, points for everyone. Yeah. Anyway. And yeah, if people want to design more games for it, I'm not going to step in their way, but I'm not going to start up like another game system that I try to curate in the way that the L deck that I'm curating that. I'm not going to start up make promises of making a website. So I'm not going to if I were to do a Kickstarter, I wouldn't say this is a game system. I would say there's one good game for it. And if people come up with a good game, then I'll just post it as an update to the Kickstarter. So you might get an update in like 5 years' time to say, hey, here's a new game for your deck. But I am not promising that. I'm not going to do that ever again. I feel very reluctant to force myself. I've already got one project, which, one big project, which is like, okay, there's going to be at least one new game for it every year. And yeah, I need to get the websites up and everything. But no, for sure, other people could invent games for it. And it could also just be a get all the monsters and color them in. If you want to get some coloring in thing for your kids or for yourself as an adult, maybe you just want to color in. And yeah, they could all be black and white. That seems a reasonable thing. But because people said something similar about a game wherein you blether, a Scottish word meaning to talk out loud for the boss rate. I need to get a banner for this so that it just shows the start of the title. Game blether. I'm not going to read out the full name, but this one, the one that I'm going to link to. So when I was starting to do this, people were saying, hey, you could have loads of different games for it. You could say, hey, Bess, why not make a different game? This could be totally a game system. Here's an idea for a game. And that's great. But then it needs to add so much more as well. And so that's why, yeah, there is so much work. A scroller? Oh, you mean like a banner that's the name of the game. And then, anyway, so yeah, it's got 4 words per card and 4 simple words per card and 2 more involved words. That's a thing. And the other thing I was thinking about doing at some point in a lackadaisical manner was some poetry things. It feels like it would be a nice creativity tool, something to be like, okay, yeah, get a bag of little drawings that's on one side of the card. Here's, okay, what am I going to sing my song about? Okay, on the other side, it's got just some rhyming words. And so you get some quick rhymes, and then maybe it encourages you to do poems. And also these would be really super simple words. So it would be like suitable for smaller children, checking with what words are appropriate for different levels. And so that would be a good educational. Now, in all seriousness, banners have to be 200 characters maximum. So I would just kind of cut it off and be a ... at the end. So we couldn't actually keep going for the entire thing. Oh, you know what? There is the one video that I have for a game wherein you blether. Let me look at. Let me find this one video. A game wherein you blether. There is a video of people playing it, and there's a scrolling thing for what was the full. Here we go. Jim and Lynn blether about hot chocolates. Yeah, that's it. And we don't need to watch the full thing, but there we go. Let me just, this was back before I realized how to do front titles and stuff. So can I make sure that the sound is on? And hopefully you'll hear.
It's a game in which you receive a topic and you have a deck of cards in front of you with random words on it, and you want to go through your deck of cards saying one of the words on your card while trying to stay on topic, and you're trying to basically impress the person that is judging. So you want to use the words the best way you can and try to stay on theme and try to go as quickly as you can.
And you can see that the end of that banner was completely wrong. That was back when I thought I was going to kickstart it in 2017. I'm going to copy paste that just in case anyone wants to watch the full thing. But yeah, I probably should have had the banner going really slowly. Imagine if the banner was actually timed to be the entire length of the video. That probably would have been better comedy.
I would drink hot chocolate all day, and everyone would be so jelly because I get to make terrible hot chocolate, but at the same time, high five, I don't have to drink it because I have the badge of honor and I get to choose all the time which hot chocolate makes me smile, and I will only drink the hot chocolate every day that makes me smile, and don't mope around because I rock, and in the evening I will drink it and you don't get to because you're corrupt, and that is the circle of life. I'm so sorry, you're just the runner-up, and you don't get to have any jam with your hot chocolate either, but that's gross because why did I even write that? I don't like to drink hot chocolate and jam. It's really a toss-up because sometimes I sit on the toilet and I know that's kind of weird, but in an instant I just read news lines about drinking hot chocolate, and it makes me feel young again, and the toilet is round and that reminds me of a cup of hot chocolate, and I have a wound in the wild that the spider drinks hot chocolate out of.
Okay. I assume you're asking, why is Lynn blethering about hot chocolate? So yeah, for those who don't know, the entire game in which you blether is you've got to use every single one of these cards, and that is basically what a turn of the game looks like. And then I'll show the other turn before I stop.
I know some people who absolutely hate hot chocolate, but they are just total jerks. Why on earth do they hate it? It makes me tearful to think that any of them hate it. Right now, at this moment, I think it's extremely pleasant. And people who hate hot chocolate, they just don't know what they want in life. They don't recognize the good things they have before them. They're just stuck in the middle, you know? Maybe they have daddy problems. I'm going to paint them a picture of what's so good about hot chocolate. I'm going to send them a message. I'm going to tell them about the joy and the smell and the other wonderful things. I can think of two other wonderful things. I can think about how it never makes you heave. I can think about how it makes you feel like a beast in the right way at the right time. And I have faith that these people will come to understand how wonderful hot chocolate is. You can blow the foam off it. If you're a coward, you can kind of wipe the foam off it. You can vanquish that foam if you're really aggressive and you hit it. And everyone can find different ways to take that foam off. So long as they just, bear with it. If they don't like it, they can just go straight through the foam, or just rub it all over their face, or change it up. Just take a different way. Oh, no, they can charge their hot chocolate with whiskey or coffee, or they can hold it under their nose. When you explained what this game was going to be to me, I was actually terrified.
And yeah, I'm going to stop it there. The rest of it's basically just Jim and Lynn talking about how they enjoyed it. I took so many videos of it that I had on my old laptop before that got stolen. Yeah, it's very similar to Just a Minute, but it's the exact opposite. Because you are allowed to deviate, you are allowed to hesitate, and you're allowed to repeat yourself. And so the idea isn't to get to the end of the minute without doing any of these things. The idea is to get to the end of the minute, but using all of these cards and using one word. Now, people can do it in a very... I've seen out of so many playtests. Like there was maybe one person who spent around doing it in a very boring way. But so there's two aspects to the game. Firstly, the more cards you get through, the more cards you keep. So it gets harder and harder. And you're keeping all the cards you use, losing the cards that you didn't lose, and also getting a bunch of extra cards every round. The other part is that people vote for other people. And so it's like, okay, two people blether about a particular topic. Everyone else votes on, okay, I think that person was better. I'm going to give them 5 cards. I'm not going to give that person any. You always need to give away 5 cards every single turn. And so, yeah, that is basically how the game is played. George, who I live with, is amazing. And yeah, I know McCall always says, yeah, I'm not good at it, but I'm very happy to play it and watch other people playing. And yeah, it is very much an improv game. It's about trying to, eventually you need to get through like more than 1 card a second, which is kind of crazy. But the final round comes down to a popularity contest, because of the very final round, the 2 top bleders just blether, and everyone else votes for with every card that they've ever gotten. So if, hey, I prefer that person, I'm going to give them every card I've won. So then it's basically nothing to do with the number of cards that you manage to keep is almost immaterial compared to how everyone else has. But yeah, that's anyway. Lots of love. Hope your internet gets better soon. That sounds amazing, and I hope you have a good sleep, CD. Lots of love. And yeah, the reason that I started talking about that is because people were telling me, where's it gone? Where people were telling me that I should make this into a game system, and it's like, nah, I don't want to do that. It's so much work. And also the other thing is that if you make it to a game system, it kind of undermines this one game. And I'm not saying that there can't be other games played with it. And I would very much encourage other people to, yeah, but I don't want to be the one responsible for doing it again. And that brings me back to the original tangent, and yeah, this is sucky, but it's a very frankly, you just can't be playing this game with that sort of people. And yeah, there's about 550 illustrations that I've got to do for it, which is quite a lot, and I want them to look good, but maybe they don't even have to look good. But the other thing is that the cost of it needs to have an RRP of about, or even like a Kickstarter price of about 28 quid to make it feasible to print. And I've had some people saying, oh, I would pay 50 quid for this game, I would pay. And then there are some people who are like, oh, it's like a party game, I would pay, a £5 for this game. But then there are some people who just don't buy games, who just, and that's the thing, like in the mindsets of a lot of people, it's like, would you buy Fireball Islands like for 200 quid? Well, it's a party game, it's a small game, it doesn't, but then you do get like big bits of plastic, and with this you're going to get a big thing. But then, you know, normally when you've got a big bunch of cards, people who print those are printing tens of thousands, so people expect it to be like, okay, it's 20 quid or something, which it's problematic from a commercial point of view and from a time making it point of view. That's his, anyway, tangent over. Now let's get back to the previous tangent. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, all the games that were made for this thing. There's some really cool games that are being made, and I'm looking forward to checking all of them out tomorrow. That is basically all I've got to say. Do you want me to look at your stuff, Nicholas, Alex? I'm happy to do so. Otherwise, yeah, that's pretty much it for the show. On Wednesday, I tried thinking of yeah, I tried thinking of things to do with these mime a turn. That wasn't really working out. I tried thinking of anagrams. I was also thinking this morning, oh, maybe I could talk about word games, because I've been thinking about deconstruction of word games. How you've got, okay, so in a word game, how do you get these letters? What do you do with these letters? What kind of words do you make? And then, okay, if we define a word game in a narrow sense of you are making words, then, okay, which letters do you have access to? And there's two possible ways. There's, okay, it's a permissive thing, or it's a restrictive or an obligation or a challenge thing. So the former is like Scrabble or hardback, paperback, or Boggle or whatever. And then, or indeed micro-muckle or nano-muckle, like those letters that you can see are for the most part the only things that you can use. Then the other option to do it is to say, yeah, you can use any letters. Originally, to my knowledge, done by Prolix, Gilhova, an amazing system now known as Wordsy, and that, of course, directly inspired Wibble, which is a thing. And yeah, I guess I have to, yeah, obviously that is the one thing where I did make it a game system, and I'm happy with, you know, still happy with my decision. I'm still not regretting it. Now, it does take a lot of work to, anyway, let's not talk about game systems for the moment, unless people want to. And with a game, you can say, okay, are getting these letters. Now you get points for using them. How are you going to allocate the points? Is it going to be for quintuple, where I've got 1 point for the lower letters, 0 points for the top? That's, frankly, I've not seen other games where you're restricted by what you can use, but yet those restrictions don't necessarily give you any points. And I think it's partially because of the nature of the cards that you've got. Okay, this is the almost like a wild card. You can use this, but it doesn't give you any points. There's also wild cards options, like you've got, I think Hardback's got one, or you can use, okay, 2 face down cards as a wild card for anything you want, but you don't get points for it. Or, hey, here's an asterisk, use it as whatever you want. And then when it comes to scoring, how are you going to do that? Like when I thought about, okay, the L deck, it's like, okay, you can have like scoring for the length of the word. Maybe it's just a point for everything in the word. Maybe it's, okay, at this, there's some sort of breaks, which is how I do it in Mickle and Muckle, which is the longest one. I've not played that online since May, I want to say. Yeah, that wasn't very good online, which is why I shortened it. Where in that one, 3 letters is 1 point, 4 letters is 2 points, 5 letters is 3 points. Then, so you're basically discarding 2 of them. But then there's a break. So 6 letters is 5, 7 letters is 6, and then there's a break, and you keep all of them if it's 8 letters or more. So 8 letters is 8, 9 letters is 9, and so forth. And that works fairly well. I mean, it allows you to do both the short 3-letter words, but it's very much incentivizes you to go up to 8, which seems to be the point at which most people are really starting to struggle. I mean, couple is just a straight, okay, word length -3, which works reasonably well at motivating those longer words for the kind of game that it is. I mean, 4 letters is 1, 5, 2, and 8 letters is 5. So, yeah, it's... And if you'd like to check I Spy, it's kind of ready. Okay, I will do that once I finish this train of thought. Yeah, I've got Handbuildel, which is, okay, you've got letters of different sets. The different sets happen to be the numbers. So the different sets happen to be the difficulty of using that letter. And so you want to have a perfect set. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. If you've got that, that gives you 10 points. And I think I said a 4 is 7. And was a 4? Maybe a 4 was 6. I might need to rewrite that or double check. But 1, 2, or 3 was just 1, 2, or 3 points. So if you've got a set of 1, it's not really a set. It's just 1, 2, or 3 different things. But if you've got 4 different kinds, that's considered a set. That gives a bonus. And hey, all 5, that gives a big bonus. So it encourages you to go for those hard to make things. And it does occur to me that, you didn't need to do the sets in that particular way. But yeah, expanding that out to being, hey, let's choose some letters from different sets. That's definitely an interesting thing. I mean, if the sets were nothing to do with the letters, let's say if the sets were actually just different suits, that would be less involved in the word making. But yeah, for sure. I mean, I guess it's worth mentioning something like, what's that? Unspeakable Words. Yeah, that's the name. Unspeakable Words, where it's got this system where eventually you just start making up words. And it's like, okay, you have tried to make words, but then if your words are too good, you might go crazy. And I feel like I should probably write this stuff down to try and then it's, yeah, how do you get these letters? Are you just getting them randomly? Are you drafting them? Are you purchasing them through some sort of deck building system? There's definitely lots that can be done with constructing words. I mean, I'm not for this narrow definition. Okay, categorical code names, these could be considered word games by some people, but for this narrow definition, I'm not considering these to be word games. I'm considering them to be language games. Let's consider that a wider category, which is about language. And yeah, does that make sense? I'm just saying that within word games, you could do a lot more. I Spy, where's I Spy? Is that the possibly? Okay, I'm going to change the I Spy with my little eye. Okay, I assume you want me to have that. Okay. Let me go on to the Google and okay. Oh, I was already there. I see Alex and two other. Are they both me? Yeah, I think they were both me. Okay. Yeah, word games, that's hard to do with world building. Was that a typo? Because I'm assuming that it is, but that is a really interesting idea. A word game to do with world building. I mean, yeah, it could be like, Microscope, where you're creating this world, and then it could be a word game where you're needing to create words, but then the words that you create sort of help you make a country, and then you've got to put the other letters to decide their language. I think that could be a really cool game. I like your unintentional idea. So yeah, and I'm just doing a wee bit of stretching because Stream Elements told me so. And yeah. But yeah, for sure, I'm not saying that language games is a bad thing. I mean, I love language games. I love games about, what's that one, Anomia, where, yeah, Anomia is a cool game. My one slight unhappiness about it is that when someone else's card comes up, there's an almost optimal play of being like, okay, I'm going to try and work out something for their thing. And so that's if my thing matches theirs, I've got to, anyway, it can be, yeah, I don't know, this probably gets into, the reason that Xates wouldn't like a game or any Bledder or other voting games, because it ends up being, okay, to group dependent, but there's so much fun to have with that. I do enjoy it. I enjoy, storytelling games, and I'm down with code names, and of course categorical. I'm very biased, but I think that Tom Cauldron did a great job with that. And we could think about what is a language game, and maybe a language game. Are you using the word to inspire some extra creativity? Are you using that to create a world? Are you using it to create a story, to create a short phrase, to create a gift for someone? I mean, there's not been one about creating a world. That's really exciting. But yeah, for games wherein you're just making a word, there's so many different ways to do it. And, if you look at Quintuple versus Wibble, those two games are so different. And both of them play fine with 2, 3, and 4 players. Although Wibble does go a bit higher and Quintuple also plays with 1. But yeah, I'm now trying to think. Like, let's say you are 4 players. You could play, and you say, okay, do I want to play a word game? Having a fast, speedy thing to a slow thing, but also word building could be a tiny element, just like worker placement or pick up and deliver or auctions. I mean, it's probably more similar to auctions or trading in that if you're making a word within a game, it's going to definitely influence the entire game and make it all feel quite different. And similar with auctions and trading take so much time that if you put a little bit of auction or trading into your game, it's going to be unless it's a simultaneous reveal once in auction, but certainly trading. If you've got open trading, that is going to be what your game is about. And I think the same is true of words games, but you could still mix it in with something else and take different approaches to it. And I think there'd be something interesting about, hey, maybe the way that you get these letters, it's not a simple draft or a simple market. Maybe there's something a bit more complicated. Maybe it's a complicated draft. Maybe it's a worker placement system. I mean, it reminds me of David Brain, who made Trucking Hell. So about you're actually going around and then you've got to pick up cards and then use your cards to go to different locations and do certain things. But yeah, David still felt like that certainly added a board. It's added a bit of pick up and deliver. It's added a bit more complication, but you could push it even further. Have like a 2-hour epic game where word building is a small part of it. So I would just be excited to see, it's explored a bit more. But yeah, anyway, and you're all very welcome. Thank you for sharing all this. But let me get to the next bit, which is looking at all this. So let's see what's going on. I spy with my little eye, and I see Nicholas is typing stuff. Do you want me to wait a minute for you to finish typing? An ice building game, an ice baking game. Ice baking, what's that all about? By Nicholas Stracci and Alex Aquisulis Cannon. Spot the best opportunities to make and sell wondrous ice creams to various customers that frequent your ice cream parlors. Hey, I thought there were pies going on in this game. You need to get some pies, otherwise it's no good. On each round, you'll be trying to get ingredients to serve your ice creams and to get customers to visit your parlor. The time of day marks on the clock will indicate which flavor is the favorite, which will give you a bonus if you can sell that flavor at that time. Hey, Michael, I'm just having a wee early look. I'll be reading this again tomorrow, or yeah. Each player gets a player sheet, and I see the player sheets in the Discord. That is okay. That is quite a thing. And free cubes to attract their customers. Okay. Yeah, free cubes, that seems very reasonable. As it happens, by the way, I don't have cubes, but what I do have is tiny little D6 that I will just use as cubes for the record. The host takes 3 dice. Okay, maybe I'll use other D6 and an extra cubes for tracking the rounds. Place the round marker at the top of the clock on the vanilla space. Vanilla space, okay, is that the yellow one? Vanilla is V. And flavors, which one's the vanilla space? Is the vanilla space yellow? No, it's yellow, green, blue, purple. Is that customers? There's some customers on the player sheet. There's some. Is that? I'm having a wee? What? What do you mean I'm having a wee? I don't understand what you are talking about. And yep, I'm just going to. Who's my amazing moderator? Hey, thanks, Alex. It says V for vanilla. Yeah, I see it says V for vanilla, but the top of the clock on the vanilla. Okay, the top of the clock. Okay, that makes it clear, yeah. Sorry, that was me. But the top of the clock is yellow. It doesn't say V for vanilla. It's just yellow. For get one with each value. 1 scoop, okay. Basic flavors: orange, blue, green, yellow, red, and purple. I mean, I guess purple is chocolate, red is strawberry, yellow is vanilla, green is apple, blue is blueberry, orange is orange. Okay. Okay, yeah, I get that. Okay, cool. Cool, I'm done with this. On the yellow vanilla space, cool, awesome. At the beginning of the round, move the clock hand indicator 1 step forwards on the clock. So I'd say clock round. No, the time and the round marker. Move the round marker because you've already called it round marker here. So you've called it a round marker here, so it should just be a round marker down here, I think. This will indicate the current flavor bonus. So you've got +3 for different flavors. Cool. Then you roll 3 dice. Each player decides which way to split this roll into a pair for ingredients and a single remaining die for a customer. Cool. So, oh, I like this graphic. That's very slick. Okay, so that's the turn. You progress the clock. You roll the 3 dice. You've got the 2 for the scoop plus 1 for the customer, and then you get money. Oh, how are we getting money? I'm already excited to find out. I like this roll sheet. Well written. Use the numbers in a pair of dice to gather different ingredients for your ice creams. When you get ingredients, you can either use each die separately to gain. I mean, I thought that it had to be a pair for ingredients. Or combine them to get a special power or special ingredients. Okay, so, okay, yeah, I see. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, yeah, cool. So you get 1 wild or 2 long spoons back. Okay, I guess I'll find out about long spoons. And you get these special starry and moony ice creams. What's that all about? Let's find out. For example, the roll is a 5, 4, or 1. They select 5 and 4 for ingredients. They can gain a banana and a strawberry or combine them to make 9 and get the, yep, got that, one of the special star ingredients. If the dice aren't quite what you need, you can spend a long spoon to adjust them by +or -1, or spend 2 long spoons to change a 1 to a 6, or vice versa. Can you use multiple spoons to go +or -2? Are you allowed to do that? Yeah, can you do this? I know this should be a comment. Can you do this multiple times? Let's just actually. Where? Yeah. So there are 10 bowls. The ingredients you gather need to be added to your parlor. Huh. Parlor, what's that? I guess we'll find out. There are 10 bowls available over the course of the game. 10 bowls, okay. What's that? I guess I'll find out. Each customer will prefer some specific ice cream recipes based on the combinations of scoops you've added. They will prefer some specific ice cream recipes. I don't understand this bit. Do you mean that that's corresponding to the combinations of scoops you've added? Is that what you meant? Because based on the combinations of scoops you added, suggests like if I put on a lot of strawberry, maybe someone falls in love with strawberry. Is that what you mean? If you mean just corresponding to. Okay, let me quickly see if I've missed any chat. I literally said I'm having a. Okay. So, Michael. Okay, yeah, maybe I said I'm having a wee ponder or something. I don't know. Yeah. Hello, Rob. It's lovely to see you. Yeah, lots of love. It's totally okay. Oh yeah. No. I'm sorry. I'm just giving you the full. Like, I'm not saying that this is bad or anything. I'm just because you and Alex, I know you can do amazing stuff. So I'm just giving you that sort of feedback. And hello, Joanne. It is lovely to see you. For those, let me give Alex, if you could do a quick shout out to Joanne, and I will give you some bonus points, and you can be my shout outer. Alex, I'm designating you the shout outer because your hands don't hurt. And Aqua Sulis, I'm giving you, and I'm going to change the things. Yeah, Joanne lives in America, Canada, I want to say. Canada. Anyway, Joanne's a professional clown, apparently, and plays guitar, so yeah, check them out. And so, what? Anyway, so what was I saying? Oh yeah. Joanne's amazing. I want it to be played with real ice cream. That's fair. Yeah, you used the pair, but the value separately. What do you mean to use the pair? If you use the 2 dice, that's how I would describe it. I would say if you want me to add something, if you want me to suggest into choose 2 dice. I would say choose 2 dice for ingredients and a single remaining die for a customer. That's how I would do it. It's all good. Yeah, no, I've got the play sheets in a separate window, and yeah, it's all good. I'm glad to hear I'm not offending anyone. We were streaming USA, Pennsylvania. Oh, and hello, So Crafty So. It's been ages since I've seen you. I saw some messages from you in Discord. Those sounds like really cool things, what you sent to me. Totally have to check them out properly, but thank you for letting me know about those. Wasn't quite clear on the second thing, but blimey, lots of love. I hope you are generally okay and keeping safe. Yeah. So let me look at customers. The remaining die after collecting ingredients. So for those who are just popping in, I'm just looking at one of the games that's been made for the game jam, and I'm going to how can I do this? Just Discord. So if you check out the Discords, I know a bunch of you are already there, but I'm running a game jam this whole week, and this is me just looking at one of the things and looking over a rule sheet that someone else made. And frankly, it doesn't matter whether this is good or not. It just matters that it was made and it's already looking amazing. And the fact that, frankly, you got even something playable, anything beyond that is a bonus, of course. And as I always say, if you want to jump in last minute and make a thing, that is totally fine. And you don't need the instructions. If you're struggling with writing the instructions, as long as you're in the chats tomorrow or Sunday, or you want to jump on video to let me know how to play it, that's fine. But if you have instructions, I will try to read through it and see if I understand it. So the remaining die after collecting your ingredients is your customer die. It may be used to get a new customer. You have a maximum of 3 customers waiting for ice cream at any time. Oh yeah, that makes sense. Maximum of 3. Yeah. Let's see, where's your customers? Oh yeah, I see them on the wee sheet. One wants apple pie, the monk wants bubblegum, the biker wants pineapple, musician wants cheesecake pie, painter wants banoffee, cook wants choco sundae. Whoa. And there's okay, I see. You had pineapple as an allusion to pie. Okay. Is that enough pie? I'll have to ask Chris. Chris is the official judge. Either way, you've made a cool game already. And what's faves? Okay, so you get, is that relating to the customers? I'm not sure if the favs, I guess that's favorites, if they are relating to the customers. I guess customer orders are relating to the customers, or the faves relating to the customers as well. I'm not totally sure, but I assume so. Anyway, let's carry on and learn. When he gets a new customer, place the cube onto the space of the customer list that matches the customer die. Any value can be used to get in a walk-in. Fair enough. You can only have one of each type of customer. Is a walk-in the same as a customer? Are there other types of customers? Because do we have customers who've had a booking? Because if there's no customers that have had a booking, then just call it a customer. Otherwise, I'm wondering what's a walk-in, and it takes me that half a second for myself to equate that. And yeah, have consistent terminology. If walk-in does actually mean something different, then totally ignore me. But I would say, yeah, use consistent terminology. You can only have one of each type of customer at any time. Yep, sure. If the leftover die matches the number of a customer type already occupied, you can only take a walk-in order with it. Wait a minute. Okay, so walk-in is different to a normal customer. Any value can a customer. Where's a walk-in? What does? Oh, I see on the side. Okay. Oh, okay, yeah. Okay. Okay, I would say as indicated on the right. I would just add that bit. Okay, so a single scoop, any scoop gives you 2, any double scoop gives you 3. And aren't all of these people walk-ins? Because thematically, none of them have booked something, have they? Because like a walk-in to me is someone who hasn't made a booking. And unless any of these people have made a booking, I'm being really picky, but just call them unpick. What's the word for an unpicky customer? Someone who doesn't care. someone who's a easygoing customer. I would call them easygoing customers. Or that's too long. That's a terrible name. Don't do that. Yeah, I disagree with myself from 30 seconds ago. But I would call it something different. Just walk-in seems like the wrong thing. Anyway, so yeah, I got that. I understand it now. You either do one of these 6 things or you do the random easygoing customers. After using the 5 and 4 to gather ingredients, leftover die from the roll is a 1. You would put a cube on the first customer. Don't they all have names? I mean, if they've all got names, I would use the name of the thing. And serving ice creams. And I'm going to catch up with chat for a minute. And apple pie sundae. Okay, yeah. Okay, so apple pie sundae and pineapple are the allusions to pie. And bones and banners. I've realised I don't have the spoons for game jams, but it's lots of fun to follow along. So I guess what you're saying is you don't have the spoons to be creative. That's totally okay. Lots of love. And I'm glad that you're having fun just hearing about it. And yeah, tomorrow, Saturday, probably Sunday as well. If all of these, how many are we up to? Are we up to like 14? Something crazy like that. Yeah, 14 games have been started. So even if there are 7 games, I'm probably not going to do 7 games all in one day, because then I'd have to just rush through all of them. So it might be like, okay, we'll start on Saturday. Might even do it on Monday a wee bit, but I'm glad that you've been enjoying it. Yeah, named customers and yeah, but I mean, but you can have multiple monks, can't you? Like, if you've got a monk, could you not later have another monk? They're not booked customers. They're maybe unnamed customers or generic customers, or I don't know. It just walk-in. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like in the catering industry, yeah. Yeah, you could have a wild customer. Yeah, why not? Yeah, I get it. We thought it sounded funny for an upscale. Yeah, easy customers. Easy customers. That could be it. Anyway, so you may serve ice creams after gathering ingredients and gaining customers. That's what you need. Okay, let me refresh. So gather ingredients. How do you get the ingredients? They need to be added to your parlor. How do you indicate that you've added them to your parlor? Do you draw them? Do you make little notes? Yeah, honestly, I'm assuming the parlor is the big blue square on the right. And can I share multiple screens? No, I can only share one screen at a time. But for those who aren't already on the Discord, there is a player sheet which I'm looking at. Is the parlor the bit on the right? Because I'm genuinely not sure what you mean by add it to your parlor. Do you kind of just make a note on the side of your paper? Oh, I like this. Regulars. Yeah, call them regulars. That's such a better name. Yeah, regulars. Yeah, call them regulars. Oh, I have the play sheets at the bottom of the file. Oh, apparently, if I were to go to the bottom, okay, boom. Where's the parlor? Oh, wow, that's really pretty. That looks totally different to what you shared on Discord. Okay. So how do I add things? I'm still not clear. So let's say I've rolled a die. I've got a 1, 2, and a 1. So maybe I choose the clerk. I put a little thing on the clerk bit, and then maybe I choose an orange and a blueberry. How do I indicate that I've got them? Do I draw them in? Do I make little notes on the? It says added to the parlor row, but it's add to any of the customer orders. Okay, so customer orders. Okay, so the bottom bit. Okay, I get it. So, so you have to put them into a bowl. Okay, so you're putting them into a bowl. I get it. Recipe. What? Okay, still not super clear on what you write for the recipe bit, but I guess I write the star. I draw the star, or yeah, P, T, M, C, H, and CR, and all those different things, and I write them in the 6 little lines that you've got there. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. What's the? I guess the dollar is how much you get for it when you sell it, and yeah, okay, I'm starting to get it. And customer orders, that's not really the orders as such, because you might be putting it into the bowl and then giving it to a customer later on. So maybe it's for, call them bowls? I don't know. Anyway. So you've got that, you've drawn them down here, you've put the tokens on the customers. You can only have, how many customers? 3 customers it was. And when you serve a customer, pick one of your active bowls. Bowls, exactly, that's what I was thinking. It should be bowls, not customer orders. Sorry. I think it should be bowls. I know that this sounds like a weird thing to get annoyed about, but customer order, it sounds like they make the order and then you do it afterwards. Bowl, you're just putting it into a bowl, and maybe it's like, yeah, maybe a customer wants it later on. That matches an order the customer likes and writes the name of the order on it. Okay. Remove the customer cube from that customer space and write the dollar amount into the bowl. This bowl cannot be used to serve any more customers. It's not hygienic. Any active bowl can also be used to serve a walk-in customer. A single scoop of any color for $2, or 2 or more scoops for $3. If one of the ice cream scoops on the order is being sold matches the current color in the clock, gain a bonus. Is it if 1 or more? And additional or extra ice cream scoops in the bowl do matter or do not matter? In the bowl do not matter. I'm assuming that, but let me know if it's wrong. If that's wrong, then rewrite it to what the correct rule is, but that's what I would assume. Once every player has completed their action, starts a new round. When one person has served 10 customers, the first player to serve 10 customers gets a bonus $5. Okay. The player with the most money at the end of the game wins. Boom. Easy. If there's a tie, the player with the most spoons remaining wins. Boom. Nice. If this is also a tie, these players share the victory. That sounds cool. Yeah, I'm looking forward to playing that tomorrow. Nice. So I guess this is a 2 any game. Is 2 players. How long is it? 30-ish minutes? That's what I would personally put in, but I'm not. But that sounds really cool. This sounds really exciting. I'm really excited to play this. So with the long spoons, I guess you draw another circle if you get an additional spoon. You start off. Is it 3 spoons you start off with? Is it 3 spoons? Where does it talk about spoons? Let me do spoons. Yeah, each player starts with 3 spoons. I would have that in its own little bit, but that's just me. But okay, so that's spoons, and then gather more spoons. You choose, and how did you get more spoons again? I can't remember. How did you get more spoons? 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 How did you get more? How did you get more? How did you get more spoons? Let's see if... Oh, I need to plug myself in within the next couple of minutes. Only... Yeah, bowls make sense, says Alex. Only one scoop can match the color at a time. What do you mean by that? Only one scoop can match the color at a time. Only one scoop can match the color at a time? I don't understand. I genuinely don't understand what you mean. I don't understand. But it's... Look at the play sheet. Oh yeah. Get one wild or get 2 long spoons. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Thanks. And yeah, this is where, seriously, if you want to jump onto the chat, it would be so much easier. I mean, I don't know. I know that Alex might be... I asked if the other scoops were irrelevant for the bonus. Yeah, I understand that. The other scoops are irrelevant for the bonus. Only one scoop can match the color at a time. I don't understand what you mean, only one scoop can match the color at a time. That's the sentence that I do not understand. I understood that that was what I was asking a while back with that I was correct, that the rest don't matter, that my assumption were if where's the wait, the recipe must match exactly. Okay, so if you've got any extra, then you can't serve it. Okay, interesting. I would have assumed that if you had extra in the bowl, then you could still serve it. And yeah, I'm confused by... Okay. So anyway, let's... Okay, so yeah, you're grabbing these. I guess you've got... So you've got 3 people. You want to pick 3 people. So let's look at, okay, these ones that you need multiple dice for. Pineapple, toffee, mascarpone, and chocolate. These do indeed give you more stuff. Ooh. Favorite orders. Is that favorite order for the clerk? So the clerk would give you 17. Wow. If you give them their favorite order. And monk gives you 6 no matter what. Biker gives you 8 no matter what. Musician... Okay, so the other people give you the same no matter what. And...
Hi. Can you hear me?
Yep, I can. Just a second. I'm going to put on my headphones so that there's not too much feedback. Because if it's just me, then I don't need to put on my headphones. But obviously, if there's multiple of us, then there might be feedback. So just give me a minute before I put on your audio again. And I'm plugged in and I'm unmuting you again.
All right.
So yeah.
Can
you explain what you meant?
I don't know why I have so much delay. It's terrible because I write maybe completing a sentence for a question, and then it's gone in the past, and it doesn't matter anymore. So
Now you can wave to everyone from the video. Rob and Alex, and hey, Alex is waving to you. It's like I always feel like this picture. It's kind of like the person's quite shy. I'm hiding behind my. But
yeah.
anyway, so what did you mean that there's only one scoop can match the color at a time?
Yeah, that was just that there is a. Can you put the play sheet on screen? Does that work?
As to you, Rob,
look just like my avatar with a bit shorter beard.
I was going to say you've had a trim.
Yeah. So we have the clock, and we will have this this clock marker, and
Yep.
it's not exactly a round marker, because the round is consists of these steps: moving the track. Is this graphic we have here. I'm pointing at it with my mouse, but
and you're going to keep going round. It's not like there's a finite number of rounds. You just keep going until
there's not a finite number of rounds. It's just until the 10 balls are completed, and then that's why we didn't call it a round marker, because it goes round and round, but it doesn't count rounds in the game. The rounds,
but you did call it a round marker earlier. You
no,
called it a round marker here.
Clock hand.
Well, you call it a round marker up here, and then you call it a clock hand indicator here. That's my issue.
Oh yeah, okay, I missed that. That's the thing. We did advertise it as being a draft, so that's the things that are going to happen. Yes, round marker was a holdover from when we were trying to make it potentially round, but the idea with the clock hand was just to show that it goes round and round without marking the rounds. The rounds consists of what's in the graphic: advancing the clock, rolling the dice, selecting 2 for ingredients, potentially 1 for a customer, unless you want to skip, or if you have all 3 customers already there, you don't get to select another one, and potentially selling. That's what's in gray is what's potential, so to speak. And the thing with the bonus and only one color being possible at the time is that the clock marker where it's currently sitting, that's the current bonus color, and each recipe has only the colors don't repeat in the recipes. So at any one given time, you have the bonus marker indicating one color, and this color can only appear once in any given recipe, and so the other flavors, the other scoops, are irrelevant for the bonus, because it's just
okay, as in within any recipe it's only going to appear once.
Yeah.
But my question is,
and only one color is at any given time going to be giving the bonus, this +3.
Sorry, Nicholas, could you put in headphones, because I think I'm getting a wee bit of feedback from you.
Oh, yes, I can. That would be.
Thank you very much, and I'll just do a quick.
I only have the one source and only the one mic, but.
Turn around. Oof. I've got a sore side on this side. I need to stretch more, but
it's too loud.
Anyway.
Just have to adjust my audio settings.
Testing.
Yes,
yep, it seems to have gone around. Gone away. Yeah. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
No, it seems really cool. I guess what I was asking about here is whether the matter was, let's say I've got an orange, an apple, and also something else. Am I allowed to sell it as an apple pie, or
no? We have to clarify that the recipes are exact.
Yeah, so in that case,
they
so
don't
basically,
matter
if you've
for the
made
bonus,
something
but they matter for the recipe.
So if you've made something that is not a recipe, then it's just trash and you've just wasted
squandered
your bowl.
a trade, yeah, a bowl, yeah.
So, yeah, and then with
there are a few editing passes missing, so there are a couple of holdovers from when it was about all about pies. You can see the previous versions on the Discord of these images, and for example, the bowls are still called customer orders, and the recipes are still called recipes. There should be bowls, and instead of recipes, orders, because if you look at the table with the customers, you have regular orders and this what do we call them, special orders, and
so out of curiosity, just because I've got
private
you
orders,
here
yeah.
now,
Yeah,
I'm not going to play it or anything.
yeah,
Like
no
we'll
problem.
do that tomorrow, but I'm just curious, what made you change it to ice creams?
It was a decision, of course, with Alex, and
Of course.
the thing was that we were doing it very granularly for the pies. If you compare with the images in the Discord, we were getting the ingredients for the pies and then selling the pies, and then we thought about making it of like, yeah, it seemed simpler, and we could make each recipe consist of less ingredients and it was still reasonable as a recipe for something, because for the granularity to make it somewhat believable for the pies was getting out of hand. Everything needed flour, so one number was conditioning getting anything at all done. So, and then we had things with 6 ingredients at a time. Yeah, that was a draft for how to indicate that would be, for example, 6 possible apple pies, and so one tick in each one of the ingredients meant that you could do a tick above, and that was a complete pie. That was, yeah, and was what Alex is saying. Yeah, the oven timing, that at any given time you could have something that was further along the track in the oven and something further back, and you had to indicate everything with the same timing marker, was getting too complex, and it was not worth it. Yes, we had the oven racks with specific pies so that we could have the different values. And for example, in the first rack, we have apple pie, and when you put it in the oven was 0 points. One tick, one clock tick further was 1 point, then 4 points, 2.00. And it was going to be different for every recipe. And yeah, it was becoming a bigger game. It could be part of a bigger game with other components, maybe even that allows for a better visibility of what each recipe means and what the time means, etc. So it has a lot of potential for being interesting, because the timing and when you get out what as part of game is really interesting, but not for the jam. So we cut out the timing separate for each recipe. We made it so that the bonus you want to time serving the recipe, or serving the order rather, with the time of day, and so the timing aspect is there, and yeah, and the recipes got smaller. Instead of having 6 or 5 ingredients each, we have some with 2, some with 3, and so on. But the main thing that remained was that
and I guess this was the last version with Pi?
I think that's the last version with Pi, yes. And then what remained was the market, almost unchanged, that you have 1 to 6, 2 dice for 2 different basics, or you have to combine them to get something that's more advanced. So that's something that didn't change much.
Joanne says that they would like to see more colors.
Yeah, that's the first pass.
Not sure what you mean by that. Let us know. Obviously, this isn't a final game. You've got to remember, just to put this into context, this is for a game jam. The point is to just get something working, and
and
you know,
it's
just reading through it,
two
it sounds
and a
really
half,
cool.
maybe 2.5 hours over 2 days or something, including all the graphics, or maybe 3 hours with the graphics and such, as a so-called graphics. I mean, this aims to be legible. But yes, how to get the spoons is on the left, 7 or 8 as the number. It gives you a good deal of flexibility, so spending your 2 die seems reasonable. And yes, you start with the 3 that are already black. You can gain marking the circles also as black or whatever color you're using, and then you cross them out when you use them, the spoons.
I mean, yeah, with stuff to do with the graphics, a lot of that stuff, you know, comes later, and at this point, it is all just to address Joanne's points. It's kind of just getting the basic thing done and playing it with other people.
Pictures of things that look like real food. Yes, it's a bit. It's a basic abstraction of the ice cream scoop. So it's a circle instead of a fancy ice cream scoop shape that we could have that will look really nice. But
but that's the thing. Like, none of these games existed this time last week. I mean, you didn't know that it was going to. Sure, it's not about pie now, but you didn't know that you were going to be making a game about taking orders and serving them to customers. And so, honestly, I think that the graphics here, or the graphics that have been done by Matthew Dunstan for the game that we made on, when was it? Tuesday? Yeah, it was Tuesday. Or indeed, you know, the fact that I'm doing a bunch of drawings for these, I don't want that to make people feel like, oh, you've got to do really good graphics. Honestly, like, if it's just letters, that's totally fine. The only thing that matters is that it is playable.
Yeah, for us was the paramount thing, of course, functionality, and I have the power of the point. Yeah, no, yeah, but that's true. It's just a PowerPoint, and then the function abusing the heck out of the function save as picture. So I download from gameicons.net .net and use shapes, basic shapes and colors and basic effects. The coin is just a yellow circle with a bevel, and text inside. I mean, it's legible, so that's what we wanted. It was just addressing the potential for more graphics and stuff, since Joanne mentioned it, just to
and it's. I don't mean to be dismissive of you, Joanne. Like, it's totally welcome to have this idea, just to kind of explain why this maybe isn't the. For some people, it's not the main priority, and if people want to get, I guess, honestly, with the game jam, why? I mean, I would love to have everyone, if they can, join in, but now that I've got you, like, why did you join in the game jam? I mean, what was your motivation?
Oh, I like game jams. I mean, I had experience with some game jams in the past, and I really enjoyed the atmosphere. Of course, in person is a bit different, and I really like the collaboration and being able to exchange perspectives with others, and yeah, mainly as a great opportunity for learning and for growth and for having fun with people with which you maybe wouldn't have been able to find the time to have fun with if it weren't for the context of the jam. So that's great, and that's why I joined it. But I wanted just to say something about the perspective that what Joanne was saying. These are really valuable feedbacks about what you would like to see from the user from in the art, but we are going from the perspective of trying to make the minimum viable readable image. So all the feedback about the wanting to see real food and what it looks like is great, because for each game you have a to-do list for what you would like to add later, and it goes in there. It's just that for the minimum showable, readable, playable element, uh, I love doing the art, even if I'm not that great. But I had to learn to scale that down dramatically to be able to get through to the stage at which I can play the game faster, so that I notice what I need to change before I commit to the art. Because my very first prototypes were very handmade and very very loved in the art department, but that kept me from the first play, from getting to that first play, and kept me from realizing maybe which were the things that weren't working yet. And it was more like an art attack session, and it's great. It's a great fun, but it's if you want to try and play it as soon as possible, you have to strip that down and try to get to that. Yeah, it was great playing with Edward. And I have something here.
And I think that
Just to illustrate, if you have a second, to illustrate the point about prototypes per hand.
So I just
Like a
wanted to
draft.
say,
I was too worthy, and it's a draft was all I needed to say. Yeah, thanks for.
I mean, what I wanted to say was that it kind of depends what energizes you, what works for you. That is the most important thing. Like, you know, Rob's working with Rory Muldoon, and Rory Muldoon is wanting to, you know, be a graphic designer. If I do something, I'm going to want to draw it on paper. And if you do something, you're going to want to do it digitally. If Matthew does something, Matthew's going to want to take icons from that can be used freely. And everyone's got some of their own sense there. And I heard from someone who said, you know, for me, painting a board, like actually painting the board, that's part of the joy of making the game. So actually for that person, if they were to just draw a basic thing and that was the board, then they wouldn't be that excited to playtest it themselves. And so for some people, like having something that looks good now, okay, I'm excited to playtest it. But if you are able to, as a designer, if you're able to look past that art and focus on one thing at a time, it does definitely make it faster. Because if you're not going to be doing the final art, or if you don't have interest in doing the final art, but you're doing the mechanics, I guess it comes down to knowing what you want to do and not feeling like you have to do everything.
And it was also a process. That's what I wanted to illustrate, because I'm very visual, so I had at the beginning I just changed my tool set, I think, because and my expectation about what I needed to have for the game, because coming from the perspective of the consumer, the experience with games was polished, finished, published games. So when you say, okay, I want to make a game, your whole perspective is and your whole background is built upon having seen these beautiful games. So you start and try to make it similar, because that's a game. That's what the game looks like. And you might engage a graphic artist, an artist for the specific art if you need it, of course. And then,
or indeed, you might send it to a publisher, and you might never engage with an artist.
And
it's kind of what do you want to do? What's the end goal for you? What's the point? It's like that whole question of what are you doing and why are you doing it? These are questions that we need to ask ourselves, I think, not just with game design, but throughout life. Why am I talking to you? Why am I having you on the show? Well, right now, frankly, it's because it's passing the time. It's giving me some, socializing. It's fun. And that's why I do this. I mean,
and I know, I just want to say that it's true, because, for example, when you start to learn about, okay, this finished game that you see has a lot of steps behind it. Then you start to learn about minimum viable prototypes, and then usability playtesting before anything else. And for example, my first player rates for one of my prototypes looked like this, and it was handmade. And then I made photocopies in black and white and painted them per hand with pens.
I mean, that's really cool. It looks usable, but actually, to me, that also looks really fun.
Yeah, and I hand colored in the player colors and so. But later on, I could make changes much faster when I translated it into this kind of visual language and the digital tool set, so that I could just print it out. And so this is the
Joanne
evolution.
asks, is that a math game?
No, it's just a mathy way to explain how you resolve everything you're doing in your turn.
So that's a
just
game with quite a bit of maths numbers in it.
You have to make melds, basically, adding to 12 or to 24. And then if it adds to 12, you get 1 point and get to keep 1 card. If it adds to 24, you get 2 points and get to keep 2 cards. If you use the additional rule that everything, you get a bonus if everything has the same color, which means it's the same suit.
And it's a wee reference card to remind you of the rules once you've learned them.
Yeah, exactly. I just wanted to show Joanne a bit of what it's not math in the game, maybe.
I agree with Rob. I mean, for sure, like Solkin or Tsuyu or Agricola. Agricola is very much a maths game, a game about maths. Yeah. I mean, you need to be engaging with the maths if you want to have any hope of winning Agricola.
Yeah.
Just saying. And I would agree 100% with Rob. And
absolutely.
So Crafty talks about, why doing this, socializing, fun, informative, inspiring. I'm getting that these are reasons why you're coming to this, so thank you very much. And people are talking about having a digital workflow. Rob says having a digital workflow is really handy, obviously for this current day and age especially. I'm really getting somewhere with Nandek going into screen top, which means I can iterate pretty quickly. To be fair, Rob was already pretty good at doing Nandek and digital stuff. I'm probably like the least, sure, any heavy hero, like any medium weight hero, frankly. And, Coloretto is a maths game. Even like lighter games are quite often all about how many points do you get. Yeah. It's all about working stuff out. My City.
Yeah, I think any game that if you say any game, then you can know you're wrong because it's
Jenga.
Too big of a generalization. No, but I mean any game.
I mean, Jenga's not about maths.
No, but I mean any game that has a narrative as the ultimate objective can present from math most of the time, and dexterity games where like Jenga that has this failure element to the game end. That's not that someone wins, so that someone loses and everybody else wins because they weren't the one to topple the tower. That's not precisely a maths game. It's a physics game if we want.
It feels okay. I'm going to. This is getting a bit tangential and a bit philosophical, but we're okay with that, of course. Yeah. But I'm going to suggest that any game where you get to score at the end is you basically are having to engage with maths.
Yeah.
And so if there's a game where you need to be the first to do that, it might not be to do with maths. Maybe in Double, for example, your score is the number of cards. In Grabble, the score is the number of cards plus either 10 or plus some number of cards in the middle. So you have to engage in at least counting and that degree of maths. But then as you start to, I mean, if you count numeracy as in just being able to count up to 20 or whatever as some degree of mathematics, or at least numeracy, because for sure a 3-year-old could not do it, whereas a 3-year-old could play Jenga because there's literally no maths. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's okay, what number do you have to add up to? And if you are playing a game where it's last player standing, that's easy. It might not be about maths at all, or a game where it's okay, the first person to do X, or Flee, which people wanted me to play next week, which is,
but I mean,
that's not about maths because it's just do this or fail. But where there's a measure of success, when it's, you've got this number of score, I think it's true to say you do have to engage with the maths.
I have something to add to that, which is that not necessarily because, for example, in double, there's have a game, I forget the name, which uses this scoring system, and it is, if in double the amount of cards is your score, and if you just make rows with the card, the player with the longest row is the winner. So you don't actually need to count the cards. So even somebody that can't count them can notice who has the most, and be able to say who won. So that's one thing. So not everything that could be counted needs to be counted on the one hand. On the other hand, I'm not sure to say that it requires that at least one player has certain degree of numeracy. Is the same as saying this game requires maths. Because most of the time it's not a distinction that helps to tell something about the game at all. If it's just counting, tallying, like I said.
Okay, I will agree with you there. Maybe it's one, as soon as we get into, okay, so double is a do the thing as quickly as you can. First players to do it wins a point. And it's just about do the thing, do the thing, do the thing.
Yeah.
There isn't as such any interesting choices in double.
No,
I'm going to say
it's a reaction game. Yeah.
It's not a game about choice. It's not, but I would say that any game which is about choice, okay, sure, there are some games that are about performative choice in sense of, okay, what story do I tell? What phrase do I give? That's a different thing. But when it's kind of once you get to a game where it's a strategic choice, when it's a tactical choice, how are you going to evaluate those? It's going to come down to a score. And that's why, you do need to make a mathematical decision. So frankly, the ice cream game that we just looked at, if I play that and I want to try to win, I'm going to have to think about, okay, which one is giving me the best return for my turns? How are these going to, what looks like it's going to give me the best return? Then I kind of have to analyze, okay, that takes this many dice throws, and that would have this many dollars from here. Okay, that has this many dice throws, and that calculation, I think that is mathematical.
Yeah, as the optimization is made through math, because for example, if we strip everything down and we say, okay, maybe numeracy is enough to involve maths, and then the optimization is also in double. I mean, the decision in double is to play the game, I think, and then you just do it. But the optimization is still there, because you are going to try to see if the images are actually there before you try to get the card, because otherwise you're just flailing around. And you can still get points there, because, for example, there's this game, I think it's called Are You Cleverer Than
a Box of Rocks?
A Box of Rocks. And that's
where the rock basically, there's two rocks, and they've got the system where it chooses. I think it's
the rocks.
Essentially there are D2s, and it's either a 0 or a 1, and it adds up to 0, 1, or 2. And
And
the
the
rocks are
solution
going.
is numbered. The solution to
Yeah,
the
exactly. So you've got
questions are
a multiple choice question. You've got to choose one of three things, and are you going to get it better than 1/3 of the time? And the questions are so ridiculous that you probably won't know them. That's the idea.
Yeah, and if you play double like a pile of rocks, you may still get some points, but the optimization allows you to make choices, and it's optimization without math. So it's I just thought I'd throw it in because the decisions and the optimization about how to be better at the game, not to score more necessarily, just to make it broader, to be better at the game than yourself another time or than the other people playing, can have math or cannot have math. Because otherwise, for example, in a narrative game where you are just telling stories and maybe you want to feel good, that's a basic thing. So you're going to make your decisions optimizing for which situations, which stories that you tell make you feel good.
Yeah.
And you want to play a character.
I mean, for sure, there is some sorts of choice, no matter the style of the game. Like in Yogi, if it says one finger touching nose, now this might not be the most interesting choice, but okay, so you went straight away for your right hand. Now maybe
Because
go
I
for
was
your
like-
left hand. Maybe go for a different finger. I mean, maybe it doesn't really matter, but maybe it matters, especially if you've got, okay, I can rest that elbow here,
Yeah.
and so I don't get tired.
And
Maybe
in Spanish, there's no distinction between toe and finger. So if it just says dedo, it's like, okay, that could be interesting. A toe to the nose.
come on, it's implicit within the rules that it's
Whose
got
nose? Yeah.
your nose. But
Left big toe to someone's nose. No, not really.
yeah, but I want to say that it strikes me that I was thinking, okay, of the multiple skills that you can be testing, because games are kind of a chance to either perform or to optimize, let's say.
Yeah.
And I would say that there
Rob-
is the
Sorry.
biggest selection of games on Board Game Geek, for sure. 90% of them are games that involve maths and calculation and deciding how to optimize. That is definitely a big part of it, and it's about the choice of making meaningful choices. And I'm going to include within that things that are not to do with maths. For example, Blocus, which you would say is a spatial puzzle. It's not to do with maths, it's to do with how do I put this down.
Yeah.
Games in which, this is a big, expansive, very, very broad. Okay, so you've got one bunch of games that it's primarily about making choices and seeing how those choices pan out, right? You've got the second bunch of games, which is about, exactly, like it's sport style games. It's making, okay, maybe you improve your technique to do something. Performative uncertainty, I like that. Like Yogi, like Jenga, like Grabble. I mean, all of these things, are you trying to do it quickly? And Wibble isn't about making choices. Yeah, sure, in Wibble, there's this tiny bit of, okay, which cards do you take from the middle? Which one of these two cards do you take? But Wibble is primarily about getting good at a thing. Just getting good at this very quick... I like that, performative uncertainty. It's kind of more of a sports game.
So
And
in
then...
trying to do better, you're trying to get an optimized performance and not maybe a better decision. So.
And then I feel like the third style of game for me is the self-expression game, where it's Rory Story Cubes or Fable. And sure, Phrasal and Giftable, they are scored, but I would very much include them as part of this. And I mean, a game wherein you blether, I would say, has a part of that sports game style aspect where you're, and a bit of that self-expression.
Yeah, and I noticed that with an earlier comment by Rob, the design of double involves some really clever maths, even if play isn't so much.
Yeah,
That,
because every card has
yeah.
one match with every other card.
Yeah,
Really
and
clever.
we did that comment. I noticed that we segued at some point between the design of the games and what the players do during the game, and that's very different because there's an earlier game that didn't explode like Double did, that did actually exactly the same. That was I think it was Kunterbund or so. I should have researched this because, but it was
Yeah,
an
because
impromptu
you knew that you were
jump in.
coming onto the
I
show,
knew
of course.
all week. No, and yeah. In any case, there was already a game that had more images per card, and yeah, and there was also even I think a litigation about how different the games were, and because the other one was already on the market and was already existed and with the same principle, but different a different amount of images and a different amount of cards, and a bit different rules also, I think, because there were additional game modes and something. But I'm not an expert in that case. I know that there was some kind of litigation, or at least there was uh, some kind of denouncing of the similarities by the author of the earlier game. And but yes, it's very interesting maths because it has to work for people to be able to engage with the material. Yes, was it Kunterbund?
It's called Catch the Match, is the English translation, but yeah,
Kunterbund, yeah.
Kunterbund.
Yeah, and there are a couple of articles about these two games existing at the same time in the market, the way they came to be about. So I will say maybe look into that if you're interested. But I mean, that's something interesting about the maths behind it and how unaware the player can be of the math behind it and have so much fun just because the principle works. It works on the well-oiled math behind it.
I mean, this is a really interesting thing, and you should just jump into more of the Fridays, or if you want to just propose stuff. I mean, yeah, this is what I love about Fridays, and just generally having random people jump in if they can.
I think the whole chat is full of very, very interesting folks.
Javier mentions that on the Yogi box cover, there are tools instead of fingers to grab the cards, but I will say that's to grab the cards, not to touch the nose or whatever. Yeah. Choosing which letter or which symbol to consider first could be a point of strategy, suggests Alex. I think that's a really weak thing. But you surely get what I mean. Like, I'm sure everyone understands instinctively why I'm saying that Jungle Speed, Grapple, Catch the Match, why these games are so different to Flea, Couple, Quintuple, games where it's not just the real-time nature. I mean, Yogi and Jenga, it's also about that performative aspects and just almost muscle memory. And oh my gosh, your browser crashed. Oh, I'll keep your face there just as a reminder of because it's quite a charming photo. Yeah, maybe I'll make myself big. But if you want to come back in, then totally can. And I agree with Rob. It was a great idea to have. Yeah, Nicholas did look very thoughtful. Anyway, in all seriousness, this has been a lovely show. Thank you, everyone, for being here. I think it's about time to do the whole recap wrap up because yeah, there was a time when I said I'd limit this to 2 hours, and I'm just like, whatever. Yeah, what have we been talking about today? I talked about, man, I should have really written. I talked about what I'd done recently. I talked about enjoying the world around us. Talked about game jamming. We talked about getting stuff ready, and yeah, then we had Nicholas on, and we talked all about. Oh yeah, I had a look at all the instructions for Alex's and Nicholas's ice cream game. I think there's one wee point that I was slightly confused by. Genuinely, there's only one thing that I need to know. So this bit where it's regular orders and favorites orders, Alex and Nicholas, you can choose either one of those and there's no difference. Is that the intention? So because everyone except for the clerk, it's just the same price. Is that the way it's meant to be? But yeah, it was really enjoyable looking at that, and I'm really excited to start tomorrow, and I'll be doing a wee quick explanation in the Discord to explain how I'm going to go about it, just basically going to play through things in some manner. And if people want it to be a specific, hey, I'd really like my game to go first, you know what, I will move the channels around, and whatever order the channels are in, I will do it in that order. So if someone's like, oh, I really want to go later, then I'll move you to the later part of it. Or if someone's like, yeah, I really want to go at the start of the day, that's totally fine. I'll probably start off tomorrow streaming and yeah, just go through all the games until. Okay, I get it. So it's, and they have a higher relative dollar value. No, like apple pie. Oh yeah, apple pie is improved. Okay, yeah. Okay. Okay, so it's always a wee bit more than if you sell the apple pie to the monk, it's better than if you sell apple pie to the clerk. Okay, that's really interesting. Yeah. Okay, I see what you're saying there. Okay, yeah. Interesting. Definitely a lot to think about. And Nicholas came on, we had a chat about that game, we talked about the nature of prototyping, about the nature of having graphics in games, the nature of what is a game, about maths in games, about the nature of, you know, basically you've got games about choices, games about performance, and you've got games about expression. I think that's broadly the three categories, that's what I would say, yeah. Like, I would say that Yogi is primarily about performance, as is Jenga, whereas Phrasal is more about expression, as is most RPGs. And yeah, so yeah, I feel like I should write that down somewhere. Maybe here. Performance, expression, and choices. That feels like a good conclusion for the show. Yeah. Look, we can say that maybe games have a wee bit of all three. Games are straddling all of these things. So maybe like a game which is like, you could say that Wibble is primarily about performance, and that Wibble, it's about getting those words out, but then it's got that tiny element of choices, which is about, yeah, when do you bring it in? Like Grapple, it's got that tiny element of choice at the end of when you slam down and say Grapple, but that's more of a performative choice. It's weird to say, like Jenga, pulling the block, it's I don't know how to express it, and it feels like something that I should ponder, and I invite everyone to give me the input. Quick decision theory was Alex saying that with double, you're looking, or catch the match, Kunterbund, you choose which symbol are you going to look at first, or in Wibble, you choose, hey, which letter am I going to start pondering first? But that was, but anyway, I'm really down for chatting more. And so that's the recap, wrap up. If you want to check me out, I am stuffbybez.coms, stuffbybez.bicard.com, twitter.com/stuffbez, instagram.com/stuffbez, twitch.tv/stuffbybez. I stream every day at 10 a.m. UK time, although I'm thinking of changing that quite a bit. I will be telling you about that in the next week or so. youtube.com/stuffbez for all the old episodes, and stuffbez.com/discord. There is a game jam. It finishes tomorrow, and if you have not already started, there is still loads of time to carry on. There's still 22 hours, which is plenty of time to make a game. So thank you, everyone. You have been amazing. Thank you so much. Thank you. Oh, Rob's heading off. Lots of love. Bye, Rob. Have a good day. And I want to say thank you so much, everyone. Thank you for being here. Thank you, Nicholas, for popping in. Thank you, Alex and Nicholas and everyone else involved in the game jam. And like, I know Rob's in. Who else is in the chat? Rob, yeah. And anyone else who's been making things, for putting that energy in. Thank you, everyone who's just popping along to do comments. Thank you. Lovely to see you at the start. CD and So Crafty So and Sate and again Alex and Nicholas and Rob and Joanne and Javier and Bones and Banners and everyone. It's been super lovely to see you. I mean, it's so invigorating, so energizing, and so honestly, we may be just dust, but the dust we touch is kind of what makes life worth living. It's all about the humanity. It's all about the you and me. It's all about the connections. It's all about the... That's why games are meaningful. That's why games are wonderful, because they allow us to interact. And board games are cool, and that's a fact. Anyway, lots of love. So the final bit that I say is, over to you. What are you up to? You can share anything you want to. So please share anything. Let me know what you are up to, what you're looking forward to today, what you are planning to enjoy. Are you going to give yourself a wee treat? Are you going to take a slow bath? Are you going to eat something tasty? I have some potential exciting cereal that I might have for breakfast. I might also have some interesting cheese. I'm going to give myself a wee treat. I'm going to be chatting to Jason today. I would like to try and catch up with Twitter, although I'm finding it very draining right now. But what else am I looking forward to? I'm looking forward to chatting with the Board Game Arena graphic design art director, I think they're officially called. And yeah, if you want to check out my future streams, look at stuffbez.com/streams. Next week, what's coming up? Game jam, playing through everything tomorrow, playing through stuff on Sunday, chaotic shenanigans, and playing through stuff on Monday possibly. On Monday afternoon, 3 p.m, it's the first in a new series called Blethering With, and I am blethering with Kathleen Mercury. These are amazing people. They are people who are like my top choices to just chat to, and I'm inviting people. It's kind of something where I invite people specially where it's like, you know, you're just doing something really cool. I just really want to chat to you and let's just talk about you, talk about what you're doing, what made you, and I'm really excited. So please tune in at 3 p.m. UK time on Monday to watch me talking to the amazing Kathleen Mercury, educator, designer, all-round force of nature. Monday, I'm meeting Mark Cook. Playing some games on Tuesday, playing Flea on Wednesday, getting to know Dina on Thursday, and next week, Friday, will be something quite similar to this. And episode 300 is coming up again. So, yeah, what else are people up to? Thank you so much. That is lovely of you to say, so crafty, so. And have I already said bye to Alex? I think I said bye to Alex. And yeah, that is basically everything. If you want to yeah, let me know anything. Then please get in touch if you want to suggest a future topic, suggest a future guest. If you want to come on to a future show, then please get in touch. I'm wanting to do more. Yeah, I'd like to. I feel like I'm happy with what we're doing with design every second week, speaking to the amazing Matthew Dunstan, Alan Paul, Rita Modeland. I'd like to do something similar for marketing and philosophy and publishing and stuff. So yeah, just come on the stream. I just really enjoyed this because it's energizing. And I think the reason that I started with game jams again is just the togetherness. Do you know what I mean? Again, shout out to Michael, who is amazing. We all know that. So share, spread the word if you want to. I am going to quickly check who is on, and before we look and see who to raid, and feel free to. Oh, Appalach is playing. Oh, Erin Shea, Alusam. Okay, let's go over to Appalach and check out some Super Mario Odyssey. I think that unless there's some musician that we should check out, if anyone has a musician or board gamey person that we haven't raided in the past couple of weeks, just to try and mix it up. Appalach. So Appalach, for those who don't know, is the other half of Los Bros, and they are just playing some video games today. But let's go and check them out. And that brings me to the end of the show, and the only thing left to say is, of course, bye, 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 bye. This is goodbye song. Bye, 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 bye. Thank you for watching along. Bye, 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 bye. This is the end of the show. Bye, 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 bye. And now it's time to go. Bye, 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 bye. This is a goodbye song. Bye, 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 bye. Thank you for watching along. Bye, 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 bye. This is the end of the show. Bye. Whoops. I meant to do a thing there. Sorry. There we go. Bye, 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 bye. This is the end of the show. Bye, 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 bye. And now it's time to go. Bye-bye, everyone. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Have a wonderful day and see you soon. Yeah, bye-bye. 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 Ah. Bye-bye.